Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fern Valley Farm. Got a little bit of sad news today. One of my hives died. So let's open it up and see what happened. Alrighty, welcome back to Fern Valley Farm's YouTube channel. On this channel, we're pure country. We're doing a video today on my bees. I'm not sure what happened here. This hive was doing really well. This was actually one of my strongest hives that made honey this year. About a week and a half ago, I put the sugar cakes in, getting them ready for winter. You can see the other ones are insulated. This one was insulated too. Obviously, I'm taking it apart. We're going to open this up, and I looked at it yesterday, actually, and this whole top box is loaded with honey. So I'm not sure what happened, but when I put the sugar cakes in here the other day, I took the screen. I made a sugar cake board that's got a screen so the bees can come up through it. I took that off already. But when I went to put that in here the other day, they just came right up to the sugar cakes. They were busy. They've been cleaning out all the workers have been cleaning out the dead bees. So I have no idea what happened. I tell you one thing, they did not starve to death. There is plenty of honey. This box is so heavy, it's not even funny. All these frames, and I will show you here, all these frames, a lot of them are propolized pretty well here. Let me take one out here. This one here, these frames are like loaded with honey, and you can see this, and they are heavy. See that? I actually damaged it. I looked at this yesterday. Actually, I'm making a video today, but you can see there is honey on both sides. These frames are just loaded with honey. So these bees did not starve to death. So I'm not sure. I got to be careful here because the bees are starting to fly a little bit. They're going to smell that honey and be all over me here. But you can see, I mean, look, full of honey, both sides. So obviously, I fed them enough, but you look down inside here, and they're dead. So I don't know if there wasn't enough bees in here and they got cold, they couldn't cluster and keep themselves warm. I don't know if it was mites that got them and killed them. But like I said, the other day, they were doing really well. So I'm a little confused. If anybody's got any suggestions or ideas, let me know. What I'm going to do, see, full of honey. Full of honey, look at that. There's a few holes, but yeah, I don't know, full of honey. So they didn't starve. They all came up for the sugar. When I put the sugar in here the other day, in fact, I had to close it like right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these frames, I'm going to bring them up. I've got a freezer out in my shop. I'm going to put all these frames in a freezer and freeze this honey. And you can see there's bees. I'm going to be careful here. I don't want to break any of these combs open here and get honey leaking all over the place. Let me see if I can pry this one here. I mean, you can kind of see the bees even kind of in the comb a little bit. So they've been busy. So I don't know what happened. I really don't. This hive was doing really well. Maybe there just wasn't enough bees in here. Maybe they swarmed, and then there wasn't a queen in here. She couldn't. She didn't lay any eggs, and they didn't hatch anything, and they couldn't build the colony back up before the weather really got bad. So the bees that were in there couldn't cluster and stay warm. I don't know. Some people think maybe it's pesticides. They fly around. But these fields back here, this stuff was all sprayed, God, months ago. And if that were the case, there would be, the other hives would have a problem too. And knock on wood, everybody's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this box. Where did my dog go? Luna, get over here. Come here. Get over here. She's supposed to stay on the property line. She's got to learn her boundaries. She's only 7 months old. You stay right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show the inside of this box. I'm going to put this frame back in before some of these loose bees figure out what's going on here. I'm going to take these, like I said, in my shop, and I'm going to put them in the freezer, and I'm going to freeze them, because what I'm going to do when I go to make my splits in the spring, I'm going to use these to feed my splits. Ain't no sense in letting it all go to waste. See what's happening here? I better leave this one out. This one's going to scrape it's going to break it all open. It's good tasting honey. It's a real shame. Talk about disheartening. You go through all this and you think you've got it, and then this happens. So what I'm going to do, let me see if I can show you this. I might have to close this. This is like really heavy. See all the dead bees? I don't know if you can see this or not. I got nowhere to put. Just lots of dead bees. What I'm going to do, that is really heavy. I'm going to get this back to my shop, and I'm going to see if I can look at these bees. I got a magnifying glass, and I'm going to see if maybe there's some mites on them somewhere, and see if maybe, you know, that's what got them. Something got them. Something happened. Either mites or they were just cold. They couldn't cluster. But it was pretty warm in there, so and the weather really hasn't been too bad. And when we did get a lot of snow a couple of weeks ago, the entrance, I opened that up, and they were coming out, so I don't know what happened. So anyways, let me get this back to my shop. We'll go through this. I don't want to open all this up here because some of these bees are flying, and they're going to be all over this here. You can see some of the bees are out. It's kind of nice out today. But anyways, let me get this back inside, and I will show you guys what this bottom box looks like. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. I got the frames, so I got the boxes in my shop here. Oh, I forgot to grab my hive tool. These might be loose. Hold on 1 second here. Forgot my hive tool. It's right here. Some of these frames are propolized pretty good, so what I'm going to do, I took that one I showed you a minute ago, and I put that in the freezer. I wanted to do this up here because some of those bees were flying. Yep. See? Just bees. Lots of capped honey, so they said they weren't hungry. They had plenty to eat. So you can see this here. And you can see them how they were just kind of on the frame. So I'm not sure what happened here, but like I said, there's plenty to eat. I'm going to take some of these here. I won't bore you guys with me popping every frame out here. This one came apart. This one was so heavy, when I tried to pull it out of the box, it broke. This frame right here. So this one, get the gloves off. Let me pull this frame out here, then we'll pop some. Now this one wasn't filled all the way, but it's capped. Oh, it looks really nice. This one's half capped. This one's fully capped. So I got to fix that frame. But like I said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all these in the freezer in case there's any kind of parasites on them, any kind of mites, which I don't think there is. I'm going to put them in the freezer till spring. When I make my splits, I've got plenty of frames to feed my splits, which this isn't really what I wanted to do. I planned on splitting 4 hives. Now I'm going to be splitting hopefully 3. Knock on wood, they all make it. So I'm going to take these frames, put them in there, and like I said, when I make my splits, I can put 2 frames of honey at each split, an empty frame. I've even got frames with some comb on them here. Let's see if we can see what these look like. Let me set this down. These are really heavy. There is plenty. Wow. That box has got to be 70, 80 pounds. This was not as heavy because most of the honey was up on top. Let's put that right here. So I could use these empty combs. So I guess one good thing came out of it, I suppose. I could reuse it. So when I do my splits, the bees won't have to work as hard to build comb. Let's pull this out here. Lots of comb all ready to go. A little bit of honey there. This is empty. So what I'll do, let me put this over here. There's even some brood here that didn't hatch. Maybe there wasn't a queen in here. Maybe that's what happened. If anybody's got any ideas, please let me know. Leave me a comment below. There's some brood here that wasn't hatched. Like I said, I'm going to grab my magnifying glass here in a second. I ain't got my glasses on and see what I could see. You can see a little bit of brood that didn't hatch. So like I said, we'll reuse these frames. This isn't what I wanted to do, but unfortunately it happened. They say you can lose almost 25% of your hives every year. Your bees dying is not an uncommon thing. It happens. There's a variety of different reasons it could happen. And one thing I did want to mention, there was no moisture in that hive. Like I said, pretty much the common thing is cold won't kill your bees, moisture will. And there's no moisture in that hive. There was none in here. If you had moisture in your hive, you'd see mold. When I took the roof off, which I actually left out there, I have to go get it. When you take the roof off, you look on the inside. I sheeted the inside of that with 1/2-inch insulation. There is a video on that if you dig through all these videos. You can see how I built that. But there was no mold. Is kind of like a black, it's kind of black looking. It was dry in there. And there was no mold. So moisture was not the issue here at all. Yeah, moisture was not the issue. I wanted to clarify that one. So this was either, and there's some even, I'm thinking there wasn't a queen in here because there's some eggs in here. I can see some larvae that's still kind of sitting in there. So maybe without a queen being in here, there's one reason. So, or a parasite, but like I said, I'm going to look through the other things, see if I can find. You can see a little bit of, there's even nectar in there, a little bit of nectar in there. You can even see a little bit of nectar in there. So I don't know. Like I see the bees are just falling off. It's kind of a shame, but it happens. I knew it was going to happen at some point. Is there a bee flying around? There shouldn't be. I knew it was going to happen at some point. It happens to everybody. Like I said, they say you lose 25% of your hives a year. Let's see here. Do one more of these. Yeah, they were. I fed them really well. Look, there's all half these frames are full of honey, or a quarter of them, I should say. You can see what they were doing here. There is some nectar in there. So I don't know. So let me get the other box here. And I'll show you guys what that looks like. Let's get this out of the way. I'm also thinking a bunch of these bees just left. And you can see here, this doesn't look like a whole lot of bees. You can see, there they are. And to me, that doesn't look like a whole lot of bees compared to what was in that hive. I'm just wondering if they swarmed. The bees stayed, there was no queen, and there wasn't enough bees in the cluster. I don't know. If somebody's got any ideas, let me know. Like I said, I'm still an amateur at this, and I'm still learning. So if anybody's got any suggestions, please let me know. I'd really appreciate it. But I am going to go through this and see if I can see any kind of mites. My screen bottom board pulls out. And I need to look at this closely and see if I could, you can see all the honey that ran out because I accidentally broke some of those combs open. So that's my story. I will update this if I figure this out. But like I said, if there's any comments, please leave them below. Let me know what happened. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not quite exactly sure why. If there wasn't a queen in there, this could have happened. But this doesn't look like a whole lot of bees. And what was left on these frames isn't a whole lot. And like I said, there was plenty of food. There was plenty of honey in there that they made. So I fed them enough. I fed each one of these hives, got 6-7 gallons of honey or sugar syrup. So there was no moisture. There was plenty of food. So it was either a parasite, like it was either mites, or maybe just wasn't enough bees and they couldn't cluster together and keep warm. So if anybody's got any thoughts, leave the comments below. Let me know. Like I said, I'm still learning some of this stuff too. Going into my first winter here. So we all kind of help each other out and this kind of stuff. So if I get this figured out or if I get some answers, I will update this video. So hopefully you learned something from this. Unfortunately, this happened. I mean, it's going to happen. It happens to everybody. The bees die. It's just part of beekeeping. So consider subscribing to the channel. give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, give me a comment, whatever. Like I said, consider subscribing. Click the little bell next to the subscribe button. You'll get a notification next time I make a video. So until next time, YouTube, I will try and update this thing if I can figure this out. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.